Education and hard work has led Tererai Trent to a better life, not only for herself, but for thousands of others touched by her efforts. Tererai grew up in a cattle-herding family in rural Zimbabwe.
She used her brother's books to learn and to teach herself how to read. And she learned how to count by counting the cattle out in the field.
When she was a girl, she was considered as chattel. Her parents wanted her to marry young. In fact, she did. She had several children in her late teens.
But a fateful meeting with Joe Luck of the nonprofit Heifer International gave her hope to follow her dreams.
What she ended up doing was based upon a book that she wrote later on, a children's book. She actually took her dreams and wrote them down on a piece of paper and put them in a can and buried that can.
7 years later, Tererai moved to Oklahoma with her husband and children for an agriculture education degree.
And at the time she came, she didn't really know what to do because they were out of money, because Zimbabwe's inflation increased several %,000.
Tererai would have returned home if not for the supportive community at OSU and Stillwater.
We got her some money from a very wealthy alum who understood her circumstances and paid her debt. The university was very gracious in helping her to spread that out over time.
She had a lot of struggles, but it just always amazed me at how unperturbed she would get with these distractions and problems that would come up. And I think it has to do with her faith in God and the willingness to just kind of keep calm and keep going forward.
In 2003, Tererai earned a bachelor's degree in agricultural education. Her husband returned to Zimbabwe and later died of HIV. But Tererai remained at OSU and began working on a master's of plant pathology. There she met the love of her life, Mark Trent, a fellow graduate student in the program.
Mark was just a wonderfully supportive person in the lab, helping Tererai to work through her challenges. She was raising 5 children, all of elementary age when she came.
She and Mark married, and Tererai was hired by Heifer International to help others in developing countries. She later received her PhD from Western Michigan University. When her story was featured in the book Half the Sky, she found herself on the global stage and realized that she could make even more of an impact. After appearing on her show, Oprah Winfrey was so moved by her story that she pledged $1.5 million. Together, they rebuilt the school in her African village.
When she returned to Zimbabwe, she found the can that she had hidden years ago, and she marked off the goals that she had dreamed at that time: to go to the United States, to earn a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD, and to return to her village with the gift of education.
Tererai would go on to build many schools in Zimbabwe when she formed Tererai Trent International. Its mission is to provide universal access to quality education to children and empower rural communities. And recently, she was honored to be one of 10 women immortalized with a bronze statue outside of New York's Rockefeller Center.
We at OSU are honored to be included in her story and to have been a part of her fulfillment of those dreams.
Tererai Trent, a 2019 Distinguished Alumna of the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources.